our most favourite, not favourite, but sort of biggest anticipated WrestleMania matches of all time. So we're going to be stacking them and listing them. We're going to have the NXT TakeOver preview and review, plus the Hall of Fame preview to WrestleMania. And if that's not enough for you, the full review as well, plus a special interview. Lots coming up on WrestleMania week. And yeah, it's going to be 8 days of pandemonium, I'm sure, Matt, for this one. Even though we're sort of like, we're not incredibly excited for WrestleMania, we're hopefully going to be on this podcast because, we can go back and try and review some of those 20 back ones. We're going to be going, of course, to 1997. So looking forward to that, folks. Stay tuned for our WrestleMania week on the Wrestling Skull podcast. Always good to hear that music. Always brings back a flood of memories when I hear that. And then it makes me sad that we're not there as well. So who knows? Matt, going forward now, last week's SmackDown. Tell me, what was your reaction when you saw that Battle Royal ending?
Cool, I was kind of predicting that Luke would be like in the final two. And I was going to draw angle, and if you're going to go for the draw angle, it's incredibly hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE knows this. I mean, wrestlers have come out and said that they've aimed for this, and it hasn't always gone to plan, or that sometimes it kind of accidentally comes together. But this time, it was so far off the mark that they couldn't even do the usual angle they did back in 1999 when they was like, let's get the footage out, let's see a replay, who was it? They couldn't even do that because it was so far apart, it would be too obvious. And in those kind of instances, I just wish they would just do a little improvisation, and just like change the actual way that the angle that they were going with. But they're going to stick to their guns with this one and say it was a draw, even though it was completely and utterly a real sham there and a real botch.
That is the thing when all of a sudden SmackDown is not a taping anymore, it's live. You're not going to get away with it. Now, a couple of years ago, if that would have happened on SmackDown and they'd have taped that, Matt, that would have got edited big time, for sure. We would have only seen one camera angle, let's put it that way. But the way they shot it live, you couldn't get out of it, of course. And I know that they tried to do that angle where it was like, where you couldn't see the feet. But come on, jeez, that was ridiculous. And it kind of winds me up like it's bloody obvious, but still WWE being so scripted, they can't just be off the cuff and think, hang on, we're gonna, even if they try and cut something the week after, fair enough, you can still perhaps change it, but they didn't. They just said, no, draw, no doubt about it. No video replays. It's almost like we've got to get soccer style, football style, like goal line technology coming in here. Are we going to soon have to have that for the Royal Rumble? All of a sudden, do they hit the floor? That's how it felt to me. Yeah, when I watched it, Matt, I didn't think it was as bad as what you said, and then I watched it and I thought it's worse. It was terrible. If anything, really badly done. It was almost like Luke Harper didn't realise he was going to bounce off that apron before he sort of hit the floor, and he'd forgot about that part. But what a nightmare, really. Is that just WWE trying to? Are they just sort of? It feels to me, Matt, that if they were going for a draw, it just seems like they haven't got any more ideas, so they're going to keep that going for like a couple of weeks while the Raw pay-per-view's on. Is that essentially what they're trying to do there? They're trying to get people interested on the SmackDown show that hasn't got the pay-per-view this month, similar to when Bayley won after the SmackDown pay-per-view. Is it a similar thing to that, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown had a longer stint before the WrestleMania between their pay-per-view, but I don't really feel like they're going the right way about it. That whole thing, and then trying to pull off a main event the week after for that, it's going to be whatever it is, AJ versus Luke, and we're going to have to watch that. And we just all know anyway that Luke's going to win. It'd be so much better for me now if they said, "Oh, it's a draw, so AJ's in the main event as well now." You know,
Yeah.
that would be brilliant. I don't know what things they have in their mind that they have a better plan for AJ than that. But when you have a guy like AJ, use him to his full potential, but he will add value and quality to that match.
Yeah, using him to more of his full potential. I mean, they really should be doing it. Yeah, I was very interested to see that after you said that, Matt, because I couldn't get... I didn't watch the whole show, but my God, did I see that part. And yeah, it was not pretty at all, that's for sure. It was a pretty shocking moment. Okay, Matt, let's move on to other stories that have come out just recently today. In fact, I've had loads of bulletins coming up all over my Facebook and different various wrestling websites, all reporting, Matt, that the Hardys have done. They're done with TNA. They don't want to discuss a new contract. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. They still are the TNA tag team champions, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, they've been on this incredible expedition of gold, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they apparently, if you was to follow TNA law, they're TNA tag team champions. There's some like indie promotion, I don't even know what one that was. They're their tag team champions, and they're also what's the Mexican company? They went down there. And
Yeah, is that
crazy? Yeah, so
yeah, CMLL or AAA, one of the two.
Yeah, they went down there and did that. So apparently they got these 3 title belts on.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, and of course, whenever you're leaving TNA, that then puts light that you may be coming to WWE. Do you think it is plausible, Matt, or do you think it's just wrestling and rumours again? People getting excited maybe, and hearsay has caught on, and you know people are talking about Jeff and Matt coming back, because I don't suspect that WWE are as interested as perhaps what people may think. Like, I'm not saying they haven't got the name power before everyone starts writing in. Because I know there's a lot of Hardy Boy fans out there, Jeff fans, and of course now Broken Matt. And I'm a huge Broken Matt fan, but WWE has taken a lot of chances, especially with Jeff, and I don't know if that patience has sort of run thin now, where they're just going to think, well, hang on, at the stage they're at, do we really need all that ag? And also, where do you... I don't know where it lies, Matt, with the whole character thing, because obviously, like we said, the Broken Matt character is going around everywhere at the moment, so I'm assuming that potentially... And this is the other thing as well, Matt. What's the chances WWE get the Hardys, but they get the Hardys? They don't even do this Broken Matt thing. Like, would WWE really give Matt Hardy his creative freedom that he's got now? I kind of don't think they would. So that's a few worrying things there. What do you think, Matt, is the eventual destination for these two, if anywhere?
Yeah, I've got to say, I've heard the rumours, and it would surprise me if WWE were as interested as what I've been hearing, because this is what this whole NXT project is about, like creating your own talent rather than relying on old talent, despite Goldberg. But anyway, yeah, I would say, if they were going to get Matt Hardy, it would be an incredibly poor decision to actually take away his Broken Matt gimmick, because that is what is re-established this connection with the fans, and that's what has got them behind him. And if they think they're going to bring Matt Hardy onto SmackDown and not have every person in that building trying to delete, then they definitely have another thing coming. That would deafen the place, and they wouldn't know how to sort of recover from that. And probably Matt Hardy would probably take a bit of a problem to that as well, thinking he would want it that way. But if they would, I would say it would be great if they would do it. It would be giving the fans what they want. I'd say a lot of people would want to see that. And if WWE had a rival, like we always go back to it, but back in the day, like it was with WCW, they would have jumped on this already.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they don't have to. They haven't.
No, I'm with you there. In fact, I'll say this much, Matt. I would prefer to have a Broken Matt character in than Goldberg right now. And I know people might think I'm mad, but the Broken Matt character, he's deserved it. He's run with it, and I could see that doing well against the whole Bray Wyatt thing. I would love to have seen that sort of pan out. And people get behind that, and I just think Matt can do more in the ring as well. That's the other bonus, I suppose, if anything. But yeah, it's very good. I mean, if they do decide to come, I would not expect them in before WrestleMania or anything like that. I'll tell you that much. I don't think they'll be there for that. I know there's been a lot of rumours saying, the Hardys are going to be there for WrestleMania. I really could not imagine that at all, quite frankly. But, it would be nice, but I'm just not sure that they are willing to take the risk with Jeff and all the rest of it. But, if they offered Matt Hardy the deal and they said you can run with a broken Matt, I'd be miles all for that, especially post-WrestleMania when it gets a little bit, a lot of the sort of main part-time guys kind of go into hiding. That would be a good time to bring him in. Matt, I guess another return potentially we're going to get very soon is definitely on the cards is Finn Balor. Lots of rumours going up that he'll be back on Monday Night Raw next week. Any potential matchups for him currently you're thinking about, or is this just going to be totally out there?
This is a difficult one actually because they've already started like signing Joe off onto a sort of match with Sami Zayn now, so that's like Joe out of the picture.
Sure.
And Seth Rollins is gone, so there's no sort of dream matches like that coming up. It does really make you wonder. And we're assuming that Roman's paired off with The Undertaker, so it's really up in the air. I mean, personally, I wouldn't know what to do with Balor myself if I was writing a storyline for him. And bringing him back at a time like this, just before WrestleMania, I'm not too sure that really does him a lot of favours. I'd probably opt to let the big fight feeling pass and then bring him back after WrestleMania. That would have been my logical thinking because they've waited long enough anyway. Now it would feel like they're forcing a match out of Finn Balor just to get him into WrestleMania, and it would feel like having a match just for the sake of having it. Like it wouldn't be a quality storyline that they could produce.
Yeah, no, totally with you there, 100%. Yeah, just hopefully it's all written out well and we'll go, well, that was worth it, but don't get your hopes up too much, I suppose, on that one. Okay, well, with that, I think we should take some questions that have been coming in. Let me try and get to yours if you've emailed in this week. Mike's got a quick point of view here, and he's talking about the road to WrestleMania. Mike here. Thank you for your point of view. He's put, this WrestleMania road is a bloody ricket. Totally not getting me in the buzz. In fact, I'm thinking of cancelling my network before WrestleMania. I have not missed a WrestleMania in the past 22 years. This could be it. I was extremely disappointed with last year's. Didn't mind the year before. It's really starting to get to me. Or am I just growing out of it after all this time? So that's where Mike feels about WrestleMania, Matt. Kind of a sad statement there, isn't it, really? But yeah, well, hopefully, Mike, things will pick up for you, and you won't cancel your subscription. Or if you do, maybe sign up and you might get free trial again or something. I don't know. Might be worth it, in fact. So who knows? But yeah, okay. Steve Rose now from Peterborough. I think you've put me from there, Steve. Thanks for your question. First time caller. Sorry, not first time caller. First time emailer. The Rock is a huge megastar now. Saw him involved in the Oscars just last night. This guy's a major superstar. At the same time, Rock is also a huge name. Not in the same way, but in the way he gets UFC buy rates and draws for WWE. Surely the match WWE should be looking for is Rock versus Brock 2. Why haven't they done that yet? Also, in terms if you was both in charge of the company and you could only use one, which one would it be? That's a difficult one, but Matt, I'll let you think about that for a little while. But yeah, in terms of Brock 2, Matt, it did go around a little bit, but Rock hasn't really sort of said he wants to come back and do a match, particularly since John Cena. So I don't really know what the limits are with that. I'm sure the way Rock talks about. I know I've seen lots of videos with him and Brock that he would like to do that match, but is that something WWE would